I had no idea that y'all would love the last Topics of the Pod video so much. Thanks to all of you who listen on every single platform. It's now the most listened to episode that we've ever done. And I can't believe that it was Crab Whiskey and Alice Swapping a Lambo that did it for us. But because it was so popular, to help feed your fixation for useless internet knowledge, let's get started with the next episode of Topics for the Pod. Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Wheels, Winchesters, and Weebs. Today, we're going to continue to feed my ADHD-fueled addiction to find the most bizarre stories I can and force feed them to you, my lovely podcast listeners. Unfortunately, we have been having some difficulties getting back into the Instagram, so I dove deep into the bowels of the internet to find the strangest stories to tell you today, and I found some juicy ones. So without further ado, let's get started. Let me get started by asking you just a couple of questions. For listeners at home, do you like snow sports? Do you like the rodeo? Would you ever try them together? That is exactly what we're talking about here with something called Skijoring, or maybe Skijoring, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's a yearly activity in Leadville, Colorado, where a skier or snowboarder is towed behind a horse, a motor vehicle, or a snowmobile, and tries to jump off jumps and miss obstacles while they're doing it at around 40 miles per hour. Honestly, I didn't know this sport existed until I was walking down the street to the PBR competition here in Salt Lake City, and I was stunned. I had no idea what the frick it was. It was just snow down one of the main streets. It was wild. When I was looking at the Associated Press article about it, Nick Burry, one of the ski jurors up in Leadville, said it's pure adrenaline, and I totally believe him. But I'm curious, would you guys try this as well? This next one's for all the farm animal friends out there. Earlier this month, a 450-pound pig named Kevin Bacon in Kenosha County, Wisconsin, got out of his pen, wandered over to the neighbor's house, and had his own cameo on a back porch camera. The Molgard family, I think that's how you pronounce their name, the neighbors there were ecstatic to see this friendly, huge pig show up on their porch and proceeded to feed Mr. Bacon tomatoes, rice cakes, and carrots until they could find out who Kevin belonged to. Thankfully, they were able to reach Kevin Bacon's owners and lure the pig back with cookies and marshmallows. There's no questions for this one, and I totally get Mr. Bacon's love of cookies and marshmallows. I like him too. But it was so lighthearted and fun, I had to share it with you guys. This episode's gonna have a lot of Utah, so just bear with me. But this one I couldn't help but pass up, especially because of how much it blew up recently all over YouTube and social media. And that is our Tumbleweed Armageddon that we had a couple of weeks ago here in South Jordan, Utah. We had some pretty high winds recently, which sent just mountains and mountains of tumbleweeds rolling all over South Jordan and the surrounding towns. There's all sorts of videos that you can see online about this. One of my favorites is a local snowplow going into one of the freeways to unbury it and disappearing in the tumbleweeds. It was crazy to watch, and I didn't even see it myself. There were none up where I live, but watching this on video, knowing that I was only an hour's drive maybe away from where they were, was nuts. One more reason why you don't want to live here in my state, I'm gonna be honest. I've heard Idaho's pretty tumbleweed free, so if you're looking to move there, you won't like it here with all the tumbleweeds, I promise. Okay. So for this next one, I'm going to read this headline word for word. So just bear with me. This is from Boiling Springs Lake, North Carolina. Venus flytrap poachers face arrest warrants in the take of hundreds of rare plants. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute, because it just gets weirder the longer you read the actual headline. Apparently, these two individuals decided they were going to make some money on the black market by stealing 590 rare Venus flytraps from a conservatory nearby Boiling Springs Lake. The authorities in Wilmington, the closest town, say they couldn't have gotten far since the plants in question only grow within about a 100-mile radius of the town. That being said, there has been no arrest confirmed for these strange plant nappers. This sentence at the end of the article that I read will make you laugh as well, which goes like this. It is not clear if the people have been arrested, and the authorities with the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission have not returned messages left by the Associated Press. Imagine being the journalist on that case. It's funniest sentence I've heard from a legacy news outlet in a long time. All I'm going to say is that for those people who are out there trying to make a little bit of extra cash, there are easier and cheaper side hustles than committing a felony. That's it. Well, that wraps this up for Topics of the Pod. Did I beat the last episode's topics? Which one was your favorite? Do you have weird topics you'd like us to cover on the next episode of Topics for the Pod? Let me know by leaving a comment down on wherever you're listening to this podcast. Subscribe and hit the auto download feature so you don't miss the next episode. See y'all in the next one.